Wargroove. We're going to cover the rest of round 1 for World Tournament number 8 for Wargroove. Let's jump into KMP versus Spotyus. Here we go. In the bottom left is Elodie. We have KMP, purple color. And in the top right, in yellow, we have Spotyus playing Greenfinger. KMP was probably my favorite to win the tournament until I saw the map pool. And Spotyus is like the ultimate wildcard player. Like, they will just rush your face, you don't know what happened or why it worked, but they've won. Like, I'm probably still gonna claim the lethal player title, but Spotyus can chaos rush your base like nobody's business. I'd say they have me beat there for sure. They are the ultimate wildcard in Wargroove, and I think they have earned the title of most chaotic player. Even sometimes putting the legendary Asame Suzaku to shame. Alright, KMP is going for a little bit of an unorthodox opening, keeping their commander at relatively low health. It looks like they're setting up a sword crit, but that village will be a little bit too healthy when the sword crit comes. Spotyus, meanwhile, built an early mage. I don't know if I'd recommend that. No knight? What are they doing? We see KMP actually going for a kill on the sword, ignoring the villages. Very interesting, a little bit weird. Knight spam defense, pretty standard. Their commander movements are a little bit odd. Greenfinger going for some early groove and killing a village. And there's the knight, but on the aggressive side. What is Spotyus up to? I don't know, but they seem to have a lot of money. KMP's decision not to go for the villages is costing them, literally, in gold. KMP looks like they were able to equalize it at the end of their turn, but equalizing it at the end of their turn means your opponent is ahead. Spotyus moving forward, getting more groove, more pressure, and sacrificing a dog? Why? Oh, there's a dragon, that's why. They can afford to because the dragon is keeping the doggo safe. But Elodie is fearless and heals up right in that dragon's face. We see KMP setting up for night crits along the side villages with the swords, defending the stronghold. All around, good position. Doggo takes out the village because Elodie was too weak when she captured it, allowing Spotyus to get even more money. And the dragon takes out another village. Wow, Spotyus went so very deep with that attack. But it's backed up by the mage and knight. Maybe it's okay. KMP is ignoring the dragon because Elodie has groove. With Elodie's groove, she can steal that dragon if it tries to attack, making it very difficult for Spotyus to do anything. KMP sneaks up the right side and does some big damage on this village. Knight goes in and kills a sword, but I don't know if killing a sword is worth losing your knight. The whole thing seems designed to trap Greenfinger, though I don't think Greenfinger's trapped. And sure enough, Greenfinger just goes in with a massive attack, doing big damage and killing lots of units while getting groove. Meanwhile, that knight is going to suffer for their actions. Does this knight defend it with a crit? No, because this sword moved to stop it. Very well played by Spotyus. Meanwhile, everyone is just fleeing from Elodie, so she doesn't claim their hearts. The sword goes down, but it did its job, making this position a little more secure for Greenfinger. That being said, Greenfinger is still going to take a pretty big punish for their attack here. Elodie rotating, trying to get into a better position, and the mages are moving. All in all, it looks like KMP has things well in hand. But wait, a dragon swoops down, doing tremendous damage, and Greenfinger grooves. Suddenly, Spotyus has complete control over their opponent's stronghold. A mage shield goes across the knight, and it crits the stronghold. The stronghold is down to half health with a dragon and Greenfinger in tow. If that stronghold falls, Spotyus wins the game. Spotyus also takes some gold over here, but I'm not sure if that matters. Elodie's groove cannot attack anything Elodie can't reach, meaning Elodie's groove is useless, as KMP desperately tries to claw back their own territory. Golem goes in and kills a mage, so that the mage can't heal up Greenfinger after Greenfinger is attacked by the Suicide Knight. But this dragon just doesn't look like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It can't reach Greenfinger. Oh no, and these vines completely protect the stronghold. There is no way to stop what's coming. It looks like Spotyus might have just secured this game. So much damage coming in. Is that enough? Is it gonna be enough? Maybe Greenfinger will low roll and it won't be enough. No, that's it. The game is taken and the winner is Spotyus. Like I said, Spotyus is the wild card in Wargoove. You have to watch out for the crazy things they can do. Let's check out Game 2 and see if KMP can claw it back, or if Spotyus will pull another trick out of their magical hat. Just checking to make sure I didn't leave up the gosh darn bracket again. On the right side of the map, playing Tenri. How did that happen? So I love Tenri. I'm a Tenri main. I think Tenri is overrated, but not on this map. On this map, Tenri is map breaking. And the reason for this is this map, quaint, as I've said in the past, has a great big old mountain range full of forests and castle walls in its center. Tenri's ability to reach over that and yoink is just a little bit too good, and I'd say that you might not want to leave Tenri opened on this map. Though, please do it against me. Please, 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 please. I have to question KMP's decision-making here. KMP is the master of quaint. They are insanely good on this map, but I don't know what they're thinking going for player 2, or letting their opponent play Tenri. I'm a little bit confused. KMP is not playing like themselves. Maybe they weren't feeling well. Alright, that is an unusual positioning from the swords. They are moving for more of a wide kind of V approach. Not how KMP usually plays this map. Maybe they're trying something new and creative. Goodness knows I do that sometimes. We see an aggressive knight from Spotyus. That's actually really interesting. I wonder if Spotyus is prepping something sneaky. And KMP still only really building swords on the defensive side. They have a mage here. But I don't know what their plan is. Meanwhile, Spotyus has an aggressive knight. They've clearly got something going on. Alright, KMP has a ton of money. We might see a big build this turn. Is it going to be a golem? A dragon? It's a dragon. We see a dragon come out from KMP. Though, given the early aggressive mage from Spotyus, I don't know about this dragon. Spotyus is able to secure a village while moving forward with the knight. Nothing too crazy is happening yet, but if we take a look at the economy, we'll see that it seems to be very close to even, with Spotyus being a little bit in the lead. KMP doing some big damage to their opposing units. But Spotyus still has the economy lead. Will KMP's dragon be enough to hold off this horde of mages? Wow, Tenri standing on road in front of a dragon. That is not always a smart thing to do. That being said, with this knight threatening a crit on the stronghold, thank you Barrett RTS for pointing that out, the dragon is sort of pinned, to use Barrett RTS's phrasing, and so it'll be difficult to move the dragon without getting your stronghold crit. KMP does not want to lose to that a second time. Units come in from KMP, removing the sword from play, and the dragon's like, you know what? Kill me. I'm gonna take your knight. Oh, wait, KMP's name makes sense now. Clearly, it's referencing sacrificing dragons. We see Spotyus doing tons of damage. Bringing in their dragon, an aggressive sword, decapping a village in enemy territory, mages going forward, dealing tons of damage. This mage staying just outside of range, except for that one sword. That one sword can hit it. Yep, sure enough, it hits it. Mages take big damage. And the dragon just kind of derps for Tenri. I don't know about suiciding that sword, though. That didn't seem to accomplish much. Elodie just happily farming Groove and villages. Really good balloon here, stopping the 5 mage from getting to the dragon. But Spotyus found a way. However, the 5 mage decides to kill the other dragon anyway. Oh, the dragon hit the stronghold! The sword hit the stronghold! KMP was just not prepared for this. Spotty actually attacked the stronghold through the defensive side, and Elodie has Groove. KMP could once again just suddenly lose unless they find a way to deal with this situation, and fast. We see a lot of units defending the stronghold, but this tile is still opened, there's still a path over here. Has KMP successfully defended? Puzzle mode, everyone! Can you solve it? Here is the solution. Dragon moves out of the way, and Knight crit for the GG. I have to say, KMP did not play like themselves this match. I've seen them play on Quaint many times, and this is not how they play on Quaint. They were probably trying something new, but it didn't work out. Spotyus, meanwhile, showed their pure chaotic awesomeness with 2 back-to-back stronghold backdoor takedowns. Well played, Spotyus. Amazing. In the top, in gold, we have Saykoya playing m0h1nder. And in the bottom in orange, we have m0h1nder playing Nuru. Now, m0h1nder obviously did not know that Saykoya is probably the best In Memoriam player in the world. This is one of the most complicated maps in the entire game, and Saykoya has it down to a literal flowchart. I would never, ever choose to play this map against Saykoya again, and in fact lost twice trying to do so in a previous tournament. This is Saykoya's home territory, and the sheer inclusion of this map makes Saykoya a terror in this tournament. They understand it like no other. Their swords move like they're knights. I don't know how else to describe it. We see Saykoya being very aggressive and sending m0h1nder forward, trying to get some early villages. But m0h1nder does seem to know how to open, generally playing it correctly, bringing aggressive swords forward, decapping villages, and doing overall a pretty good job. Saykoya moves forward, their army of swords doing what they do, and m0h1nder heals up. This is where things get tricky. Saykoya's m0h1nder on this map is terrifying. We've said it in the past, m0h1nder does sort of counter Nuru, but we also saw that m0h1nder can lose to Nuru if you allow Nuru to catch up to you on economy. m0h1nder, in order to win, needs to get ahead and stay ahead. We'll see if Saykoya has the tools to do just that. m0h1nder goes in on a village. The decap doesn't really matter, it's the end of turn 5, m0h1nder would get Groove regardless, but if you're gonna get Groove anyway, why not take a village down? We see m0h1nder comboing the Knight hit with Nuru, and bringing in the sword to just keep these villages nice and threatened. Beautiful balloon coming in to deliver these pikes to victory and defend against m0h1nder and the Knight. But the Knight actually gets a crit, killing the Forest Sword. I think that might be a roll. Beautiful takedown, and it leaves m0h1nder free to sword crit villages and capture them. Saykoya choosing to capture the more behind village first, because nothing can recapture this with the sword dead, and it will allow the swords to move forward as quickly and efficiently as possible. Very Saykoya. We see the balloon come in, ready to pick up the pikes. But that sword is single-handedly leaving this Knight pinned to this village as Saykoya continues to recapture it over and over. This is one of Saykoya's sword-annoying tactics, and it makes them very terrifying. m0h1nder has moved in deep into the enemy territory, and we can see the sword repeatedly capturing this village. M0h1nder has had enough. They capture the village and hit the sword, but it forced all these units to waste a lot of time doing that. Meanwhile, the pikes are dropped here to try to deal with this knight, this Valder, this mage, and all these shenanigans, and it's all backed up by an archer to keep it nice and safe. Nuru has GoW. Is Saykoya in trouble? The knight actually is not afraid of the pikes and just attacks in. And Valder attacks in. And the sword crit attacks in. And that sword attacks in. This looked like an incredible position, but Saykoya found its weaknesses and just mowed it down, crippling M0h1nder's forces while keeping their own pressure very active. M0h1nder is able to get an archer shot, but only on Valder, and it doesn't do a lot of damage.
A little help here?
We see Nuru coming in, possibly for a kill. Pike crit suicide. Knight attack. Crit setup. Will this be enough to kill? No, Valder lives with 7% health, unfortunately. It was not enough to kill Valder. Maybe some high rolls could have done it. But this means that Saykoya will live if they can get out of this predicament. Also, remember, Nuru had to spend 1,200 gold to summon that knight, and it didn't kill anything. Not necessarily worth it. Valder's mighty swords go in and pave the path to freedom. Saykoya just happily retreats and heals up their commander. No worse for the wear and dropping an archer behind it all. M0h1nder is able to recapture this village, but that archer looks a little bit exposed.
Here I come!
Nuru is pushing towards the enemy stronghold, trying to maybe... Ooh! Takes out the pike, but is that knight vulnerable now? It looks like M0h1nder is desperate to try to kill the stronghold and win the game outright, with Saykoya putting so much pressure on their forces. If we take a look at the economy, it is actually pretty even, and the unit count's pretty even. M0h1nder maybe didn't need to make such a drastic move. But unfortunately they did, and their units are being pecked apart by Saykoya's forces. That pike hit was not enough to take it down, but Saykoya really wanted to bring this pike over here. Valder actually leaves all this alone and decides to just sword crit a knight. Dog attack a sword. Archer attack a village. I don't necessarily know what Saykoya's thinking. But they set up a very powerful wall here, defending their troops. Nuru, unfortunately, has to back up. They took too much damage to... Nope. Going forward. M0h1nder is sort of backing up, sort of going forward, just kind of moving to the left, I guess. Taking this village and taking a few units on their way. But in doing so, have they left their stronghold a little bit too exposed? We see M0h1nder's pikes are going to have to fly across the map somehow, but pikes are slow, and it's a little bit tricky to get everything rapidly into position, so M0h1nder builds a dragon to defend it. Ooh, knight crit into Nuru. Ooh, archer strike. Oh, the damage. The damage. I can't really say the humanity because we're dealing with undead versus Floran aliens. The inhumanity of it all. Beautiful mage crit onto that dog. It looks like Saykoya is just mowing down M0h1nder's forces. Keeping everything very healthy, very powerful. Valder gets groove again. The mages are staying nice and safe. And M0h1nder is at a huge disadvantage in this position. Remember, Valder wins if Valder can get ahead and stay ahead. And Valder is definitely ahead, and is threatening Nuru's stronghold. M0h1nder is struggling to hold on here, and just building a massive wall of death to try to stop Saykoya. We see a knight crit go in on Nuru again. Saykoya is just throwing knights into Nuru over and over to keep Nuru suppressed, allowing Saykoya to move happily across the map. Keep in mind, knight crits don't happen by magic. Saykoya has been putting the knights in critical positions to make sure they can hit Nuru whenever needed if Nuru goes into strong positions. This is all planned out by Saykoya. It looks easy, but remember, there's a lot going on here. Saykoya is a very good Wargoove player. And now Nuru is kind of trapped. Separated from her army, surrounded by a horde of undead, Nuru is doing everything she can to try to escape. Kills that sword, gets groove, tries to heal, surround herself with army, but is it going to be enough? Is it really going to be enough? Saykoya has a lot here. And the dragon maybe could have covered Nuru, but ran over there instead. Nuru is very exposed on multiple sides. We see a knight crit go in, a dragon strike. Oh, Valder, that's... Yeah, Nuru was obliterated. Well played, Saykoya. I would be very careful about playing Saykoya on this map. I'd be careful about playing Saykoya on any map. M0h1nder is no noob. M0h1nder is a veteran player from the early days of Wargoove. Previously on one of the best 2v2 teams of all time. I think recently surpassed by Spacefront Saykoya. However, Saykoya definitely dominated this game. Let's check out game 2. Saykoya in the yellow in the bottom left playing... I'm sorry, that can't be Mercia. Saykoya is not playing Mercia. Mercia is considered one of the lowest tier commanders that there is. She's considered bad on most competitive maps, and doesn't really have a lot of aggressive potential with her groove. That being said, against M0h1nder's Valder, maybe Mercia can be okay. Mercia can do interesting things against Valder if you don't fall behind. But Valder exceeds at getting ahead. I don't know what Saykoya is thinking, but surely they must have a plan. M0h1nder, if I haven't said so already, in the orange, playing Valder, is moving forward, trying to get their groove, get villages, just get ahead of this Mercia, and win the game. What Valder doesn't want, what M0h1nder doesn't want, is for Saykoya to bring it even to a Golem late game. In a Golem late game, Mercia will dominate, and Valder has to get ahead and win before that happens. One of the risks of playing Mercia is you don't really have a good lethal option or a good stronghold pressure option, but neither does Valder, which puts all the more pressure on Valder to get ahead. I've said that like 5 times, but that's the only way to win in this matchup. Saykoya doing this a little bit differently than KMP. They've somehow captured this village incredibly early on, with magic, and they don't seem in a position to capture this village. M0h1nder is just going straight in and has groove, though again, turn 5, they'd have groove anyway, and Saykoya is happily grabbing villages across the map. We see an early wagon from Saykoya, which again, what are you doing, Saykoya? Hashtag Saykoya things. Why is there a wagon on this map? People don't build wagons on this map. But it seems to be able to ricochet the mage into an early position. Probably because of that harpy. Though, did Saykoya psychically predict the harpy? I have no idea. Valder summons a sword right next to Saykoya's stronghold, and proceeds to use a dog and a harpy to take out a village. I don't even know what's happening anymore. Is this Wargoove? Is this real life? What game are we watching right now? Saykoya is just taking villages and blatantly ignoring Valder. Moving their mage to deal with the harpy, giving Mercia groove, and blatantly ignoring the Valder that is very clearly at their HQ, just kind of walling it off with swords. Like, okay, kill my swords, go ahead, I don't care. I'll trap you if you try it. M0h1nder goes forward with the dogs, ooh, big hit, and gets the mage, nice. But seems to be retreating from that knight. Except with their commander. Their commander is going deep into enemy territory. Is that okay? I don't know. Why did that harpy fly over there? What's going on? This game is confusing me, and it's a little bit difficult to commentate when I don't know what anybody's thinking. But it does seem that Saykoya is easily able to defeat these swords because they're right in Saykoya's territory for some reason. I'm not sure why M0h1nder decided to attack that deep into the enemy stronghold without a plan to take it. Saykoya goes in with the dragon and the knight, doing tons of really big damage. That was really beautiful, actually. The knight and the dragon killed the unit that would hurt the other one in a beautiful combo. The knight will go down, but it'll cost a lot of swords to do it. And the harpy and the mage are coming in to try to get rid of that dragon. Valder summons a sword, but I don't know where it's gonna go, and these pikes don't have any means of doing anything for a little while. Dragon takes out the knight. That'll put it in range to be hit by the mage, though. Uh-oh. And Mercia is getting in the wagon, retaking a village that was taken deep in their territory, and moving over here to come fight Valder. Let's take a look at the economy, because I have no idea who's winning. It seems like Saykoya is slightly winning in unit count, and the economy is about even, with Saykoya doing well at the end of their turn. Again, though, even means Saykoya is winning, because Valder has to get ahead to be in a strong position. Good use of the pike crit to give Valder groove. The dragon comes down to take another village, and that dragon took a big hit from the mage. Very nice damage from M0h1nder. We see Saykoya is not giving up the left side, sending in a knight and backing it up with a mage. This mage is actually covering every single unit here at maximum range, and is perfect positioning by Saykoya. The dragon, super low health, decides to attack Valder.
I'll save you all.
Oh, this is beautiful. Using Mercia's groove, a groove that rarely gets any value. It heals the dragon, it heals the knight. That groove just did about, let's see, 300, 600, I'd say about 1,000 gold worth of healing. Very nice play. The dragon goes in deep, attacking that village, and once again, Saykoya's stronghold is under threat. But there's nothing really to back up the dragon, so it's actually more safe than you'd think. Valder summons another sword, leaving us in suspense, and the sword walks over here. Mercia going for this side village. But, unlike the mistake KMP made, Saykoya retreats to cover their stronghold from the attack. Oh, we see an archer coming in. That's going to be pretty nice. Plenty of mages and a golem coming out from Saykoya. Once again, I said that if it came to golem wars, Mercia would have the advantage. I think M0h1nder is on the back foot for sure now. Actually, if we take a look at the gold, not only is the economy even, Saykoya is straight out winning with golems. Mercia is definitely in her element, and if M0h1nder doesn't turn it around soon, Saykoya will definitely take game 2. We see a lot of M0h1nder's units moving around Saykoya's units, trying to trap them. This kind of confusing mix of units is very unusual and very fun to watch. Ooh, big sword crit. Weak dragon doing some work. Knight retreats. And Saykoya just doing a little bit of damage wherever they can. Oh, knight! Oh, knight! Oh, so much! That was unfortunate. Saykoya just dominated on the right side. One thing M0h1nder has been doing very well is getting groove over and over, but Valder hasn't been using the groove to great extent. Valder, without really an army, can't do much with the sword. Army? Valder? Army. What could go wrong? We see Saykoya doing some big damage with the Golem and Mercia. Just tons of damage in the north. Your commander is a very useful attacking unit and shield. And having your commander by yourself is not only dangerous, but it doesn't let you win fights. Though I don't know if the fight matters anymore, it seems like Valder is kinda dead. Yeah, there's no getting out of that. M0h1nder surrenders, giving Saykoya the win. There's not a lot I can say about that, other than that was a dominating victory and will move Saykoya to the next round. M0h1nder is a veteran player and a very good player, but they haven't been as active lately, and I think Saykoya has just been training and getting better, and did an amazing job in those games. Alright, let's check out Sempu versus Go7 to end round. Wait. I gotta remove that. Okay, I did it. On the right side of the map, in blue, we have Go7 playing Nuru. And on the left, in green, we have Sempu playing Wolfar. Both of these players are amazing and worth talking about. Go7 is an incredible Advanced Wars player, one of the best Advanced Wars players in the world. They've just started Wargoove recently, but already are good enough for the World Tournament. It just shows how incredibly good they are at tactics games. Go7 is also known as the King of Penguins for reasons that escapes me, but just accept it as fact. They are the King of Penguins. Meanwhile, Sempu is the best Sigrid player in all of Wargroove. They play Sigrid on maps that Sigrid, who is one of the lowest tier commanders in the game, should not even be played on. I don't know how they do it, but they do, and they win. Sempu is an amazing Sigrid player, an amazing player in general, and their superpower is playing Sigrid. No one else can do that. Let me just be clear. Like, Saykoya can make some gimmicks work, but nobody else can do what Sempu does. Now, we talked about this before, but I don't know if putting your commander in the corner of the map is a good idea, unless you have a very good plan for it. Spotyus, I think, showed us a plan where they, like, healed their commander and brought them forward or something for, like, their super sneaky attack. Is Sempu going for a super sneaky attack? We'll find out. Go7 heals their commander, builds up some units. And Sempu moves forward. Actually, I don't completely hate their position as long as they can heal their commander. Go7 might be able to disrupt it. Oh, but they don't. They choose instead to just do some damage, and it will allow Wolfar to heal on the next turn. Possibly a bit of a blunder by Go7. If they had disrupted the heal, it might have been possible to stall Wolfar out a little longer. On the top side, Go7 moves in with Nuru, mostly ignoring the village, just trying to push forward as far as possible. Though I really don't like this pike build. I don't see where that pike is going to go or how it's going to get out of there. Wolfar, however, chooses not to heal, just attacking at 2 health and then murdering the sword with the mage. Again, that entire turn I think was a blunder by Go7. They should have done that a little differently. Go7 just keeps decapping the village, moves in the knight,
This is my fight.
and is happy to take this village with their commander. They built a balloon, realizing how to get the pikes out of there. One feature about Go7 is they've never played on most of the maps. Like, this is their first time playing on some of the maps, so they are figuring it out as they go. In the World Tournament. Yes. Why? I don't know. To be fair, I'm not really doing map prep either. But I've at least played on the maps before. Like, Go7 has never seen these maps before. How crazy is it they're able to play on these maps? It boggles my mind. One day, they might be the best Wargroove player.
I can't wait.
In the meantime, though, Nuru has Groove, but I don't know if they have enough money. And there's a lot of knights there. Sempu brings their knight around, killing the dog and trying to move away from Nuru to maybe threaten the stronghold. This could put Go7 in a difficult position. Meanwhile, Wolfar, now fully healed, is doing some tremendous damage and pushing forward with all due haste. If we take a look at the economy right now, we'll see that Sempu is doing pretty well. Nuru chooses to summon a pike, and then uses some very clever balloon positioning to take out the knight and stop their advance. Very well done by Go7. Sometimes all you need with Nuru Groove is a little pike. The knights move in to defend, and Go7 starts taking more villages. Overall, pretty good. Oh, but Sempu has a golem, and Nuru doesn't really have any tools for dealing with that golem. This will mean that Sempu will have a very good defensive side. Their offensive side, powered by Wolfar, is also looking well. Go7 uses an archer on the commander, but I don't think they realize that it doesn't do much damage. Again, Go7 is new to this game. We see more damage coming in on Wolfar, and that'll leave him weak, but not out. Beautiful Nuru drop. That'll put a lot of pressure on Wolfar and might even lead to a kill if Go7 can do this correctly. However, the golem unimpeded has started attacking villages with a knight backing it up, and Sempu has a lot of money. This could be a risky maneuver for Go7 if Sempu can simply grab villages and hold off his push. Wolfar retreats and heals, not up to full health, but not so easy to attack. Is there a lethal here? And if there is, can Go7 spot it? Go7 does some big damage, but does not appear to be going for any kind of lethal. I'm not sure if there was one. I didn't have enough time to check. but they're just kind of attacking the units right in front of them. I like how Go7 already knows how to use balloons to set up crits. A very high level move for a new player. But there's still nothing to deal with this golem. The golem continues to take villages, and if we take a look at the economy, this is giving Sempu a dominating lead. Wolfar murders a knight and does huge damage to another knight, taking it out. Bring up this sword to hit an archer. This has completely crippled Go7's position, and Go7 no longer really has the ability to press forward and attack. While being behind on economy, this could be game losing. Go7 licks their wounds and tries to heal their units as much as possible, dealing some very big damage. Commander takes out the sword, setting up a knight crit on the archer. That was very well done. But unfortunately, you can't kill a commander with a pile of pikes. And there's still nothing to deal with that golem. The golem happily murders some more units, as more and more things rush to threaten Go7's stronghold. Wolfar just has to not die, and Sempu will win the game. Go7 is trying to press forward and kill Wolfar. They even get the sword suicide. The pike crit. Sadly, it's not enough. You can't really kill a commander like that. Sempu gets some beautiful hits on the stronghold. It somehow manages to roll well enough to live, but it's very clearly going down next turn. Sempu retreats Wolfar behind a wall of moving castles, and I believe this could very well be it for Go7, at least for this game. Can Go7 get out of this? Is there any way for them to get out of this? Is it even possible? Is it even remotely possible?
Calling reinforcements.
The props to Go7 for going down and fighting. I gotta respect that. They're doing everything they can to try to save it. But I think Sempu is flexing a little bit here. Knight, hit the stronghold. Hit the stronghold. Hit the... Gosh darn it, thank you. And game 1 goes to Sempu. Not a lot to say. Sempu did really well. Let's check out game 2. Oh, we're back to Heist. In the blue, as M0h1nder, we have Go7.
Our dominion grows.
And in the green, Sempu has Tenri. Now, Tenri is one of the commanders that people don't like playing against on this map. But unlike Quaint, I wouldn't necessarily say that Tenri is map breaking. Tenri can definitely be very good, but there are also ways of dealing with her. And M0h1nder, as we've seen, is very, 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 very scary on this map. Now, Go7 needs to win this match and another to stay in the winner's bracket. Sempu just needs to win this match. We see both players playing fairly standard, and a late wagon from Sempu. Go7 built a much earlier wagon and is using it to get their swords to the center faster. Looks like the superior wagon play could easily give Go7 a bit of an edge. We see Knight coming out from Go7 and keeping sword control over this hideout in the right corner. Both players are trying to capture villages as quick as they can. And there's not a lot to talk about yet, except for the fact that Go7 built a frickin' harpy. Harpies, as we've said, can be completely useless or utterly magical depending on your skill as a player, though building one this early is questionable. And we see that Sempu has timed the knight's movement around the island to match with the timing of the barge. Very well done. Beautiful wagon strike, which will prevent this sword from being able to capture the left village. As you can see, it no longer reaches because of the wagon. Very good move by Sempu.
By my hand, rise.
M0h1nder is going for the coin flip on the village, and gets it. That will be very, very big for Go7. The Harpy starts flying into position to back up these swords. I don't know what Go7 is doing, but Sempu seems to be on the back foot. If we take a look at the economy, it's pretty close to even. Sempu also wins a coin flip. I wouldn't say anybody is winning or losing at this point. But Go7 is doing Valder things. And if they can climb ahead in the next few turns, they might be able to win it. If not, the match will probably go to Tenri. It all comes down to this. Valder grabs a village and heals, and takes out another village as well. Go7 definitely, doesn't get the village, but makes it weak enough to get next turn, and knocks out that village. Go7 is definitely starting to grab the villages. And we see, and steals the hideout and hits the sword, and there's no anti-air there right now. Good use of the Harpy. This is it. Go7 is taking the moment they need to in order to try to flip this game around. But Tenri murders a sword and is close to getting Groove. With a knight at her back, this could be dangerous for Go7's stronghold, which is currently unprotected. More knights are coming in, and Sempu has a vast army here. Is this really the end? Valder can't really push more into this. I'm amazed that Go7 is just diving their knight right near the enemy knight. And their Harpy is taking villages deep in enemy territory. Valder knocking villages deep in enemy territory too. Go7 has a lot of money and is choosing not to fight or engage, but just to harass their opponent, setting up this knight to defend that knight from that knight and tons of units at the enemy stronghold. Oh my goodness, Sempu needs to watch that stronghold. It is looking so vulnerable right now. The knight hits the knight in such a way that this knight can't crit it, very well done, and takes it out with a mage crit. That was beautiful by Sempu, backed up by pikes. The pike can't quite reach the knight, but it's a pretty good position. Tenri, on the other hand, can, making this a very powerful attack from Sempu. Sempu also has a thief that stole this. It might go down to swords, but if it doesn't go down to swords, then it'll totally be awesome. We see more amazing wagon play, and it protects this from anything other than a Valder Groove sword. Beautiful plays by Sempu. However, Valder is just going to the stronghold, which was not defended at all. And, hitting it. Yeah, Go7 noticed that Sempu's brilliant attack left one glaring weakness. Their stronghold. Tenri's not a bad commander, but she is slow charge. Valder can groove several times before Tenri will ever get groove, let alone be able to use it. And, you kind of have a big green stronghold that you, need to protect. Can Sempu do enough damage to keep the stronghold alive? I don't think it's humanly possible, but Sempu is certainly going to try. And I can say humanly possible this time because we are talking about the Heavensong tribe, who are humans. Everybody plays the undead. To be fair, I totally love the undead. And Go7 takes game 2, 1-1. Next game decides it. Ultimately, Valder did Valder things that game. There's no other way to say it. Go7 was very active in taking villages and pushing forward. The Harpy was an ingenious, sneaky unit that went behind the enemy lines and took down their HQ. I think Sempu could have won it if they held out and defended, but they didn't. And Go7 took the game. Alright, game 3, deciding the last person in round 1 who will move on. Go7 versus Sempu on M0h1nder. Go7 in the purple as Nuru. I don't know why they moved that way. And Sempu in green playing Elodie. Nuru is incredibly short. I bet you didn't know that. If you play to the end of Wargoove and watch the credit scenes and look at all the commanders, Nuru, like, seems insanely tall for some reason, but then when you see the picture of everybody, it's like, whoa, Nuru's so short. I don't know, like, I've heard so many people who are incredibly surprised by that.
Unnecessary move.
It's just a random bit of trivia. Okay, back to the game. What am I talking about? I've been doing this for too long. So Go7 is going for a very unusual opening here, putting their commander through the center of the map, while Sempu is playing more standard. I have to say this will give Sempu a bit of an advantage. After all, Go7 is not familiar with these maps. Sempu is doing their best to open standard and play the game normally, and hoping that will give them economy against Go7's unusual opening. Go7 is keeping up, though, at least for now. If we take a look at the economy, it's pretty even. But here's where things start to get a little bit tricky. Sempu was able to heal their commander, and is bringing out a knight on the right side. I didn't expect that. Go7 is also able to heal, but their commander can't really affect anything for a couple turns. Now Sempu is able to move forward, capturing all of these villages. This is the big turn where Sempu's opening, the standard theory opening, will give them a big advantage against Go7. If Sempu can grow this advantage, they might be able to win the game off of it. But Go7, not to be deterred, dives right in, dropping pikes to defend their attack. They're determined to make up for lost economy with good positioning and solid play. Double knight build. Sempu has a lot of money and builds a dragon as well as some more pikes to defend against those knights. But I don't like this. Elodie doesn't really have a lot of powerful units with her for this attack. I'm not sure what Sempu's trying to do, pushing into the stronghold with just swords. Go7 once again takes out that village, takes out another village, takes out another village, and captures most of them, evening up the economy. This will stop Sempu's incredible economy lead, or at least slow it down. But ultimately we'll see if it's enough, because Sempu is able to take this village here, bring their dragon to the center of the map, march their swords forward, for a very, I don't know why they hit that sword there, for a very impressive attack. Finally building some mages to deal with the enemy air units. If you look at this formation here, it's actually quite brilliant in that it prevents the pikes and these swords from being useful, and there are only a few units, including Nuru, who can actually attack this formation. Very well done by Sempu. Sempu doing their best to take down this village, but have you ever tried to take out a village with 10 doggos? It's not so easy. You just show up and be like, I have 10 dogs, make me your mayor. And the village is like, what? No, get out of here. Really, really nice reposition by Go7. They retreated and put their commander in a very defensive spot. We see that Sempu is, however, going to be able to take some territory off of it, continuing their economy lead. Now, Elodie could have gone for the stronghold, could have retreated and taken more villages. Elodie instead chose to go in here, and we'll see if that somewhat risky decision ends up paying off and winning them the game, or costing them their very life. We see a Witch Hex coming out, which is usually a sign that a lethal is coming. Harpy Strike, Dog Strike, the way to Elodie is slowly being cleared. Night Strike. Is that a Knight crit? Followed up by a Nuru attack, but Elodie does live on a mere 2%. That could have been game-ending right there. Elodie does have Groove and can steal a unit, but she needs to be able to live. Where is Elodie gonna go? What's she gonna do? Is this the end? Was that an insane blunder by Sempu? Sempu retreats and does everything they can to protect their commander. That could have... Sempu was winning. They were in a winning position, but might have thrown it away during that last attack. Go7 ingeniously saw a weakness, exploited it, and made for a powerful lethal. Luckily for Sempu, it didn't work, but it's not over yet. Sempu is not necessarily safe where they're currently standing. After all, Nuru does have Groove. We see the Dog Suicide come in on Elodie, doing some very nice damage. As well as a Dog Strike on that sword. That could have been done slightly better, but that's okay. And the Witch Hex goes off. Elodie is now down to a mere 77%. Sword crit suicide. Followed by, is that a Knight crit? If this kills, then the game is over. And that's it. GG. The winner is Go7. Imagine never playing on In Memoriam before, and beating Sempu on it. Go7 is a master of tactics games, and I can't wait to see how they do in round 2. Okay, so it looks like we have pretty much the entire round 2 bracket set up. We saw that Searing Blight took out Zested, the Sneaky Dragon was able to get by, while DQ'd. Disobeyed beat M0h1nder, Mastro beat Mr. Cat, Spotyus took out KMP, in a bit of an upset. Saykoya took out M0h1nder, and in another upset, Go7 took out Sempu. We have some insane matches to look forward to in round 2. That's all for now. Check it out in the next video.